English is the lingua franca. It's the language of the internet. It's the language of finance. It's the language of medicine, of popular music, diplomacy. However, it doesn't mean you should stop at English and only strive to speak this foreign language. Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk about how learning foreign languages will change your life and how learning foreign languages changed my life in so many different ways. I'm always trying to present myself as a language learner because I'm actively learning English, Spanish, and Chinese, and my native language is Russian. And to be honest, this process of acquiring a new language has brought so much joy into my life. Speaking foreign languages allowed me to talk to new amazing people, travel the world, and try new jobs and professions. So the first major reason why you should be learning foreign languages is because language is a part of a culture. And it is a very, very big part of it. If you really want to get the culture, you have to learn the language of this culture. Think of languages as tickets. This idea of viewing languages as tickets is not my idea. It's something that I saw on YouTube while watching a TED Talk. So basically, the reason why languages are like tickets is because they allow you to participate in the culture and participate in the culture very actively, because when you speak the language, it's kind of like your ticket. You're giving the ticket to be able to participate in the culture where this language is spoken. And that's exactly how I feel living here in Mexico City. I started learning Spanish actively, seriously, and consistently probably around 7 months ago, even though I've been living in Mexico City for more than a year now. And first, when I moved to Mexico City, I had a lot of things on my plate, and honestly, I was just too lazy to start learning Spanish because a lot of people here do speak English. However, I really wanted to get the culture. I wanted to build meaningful connections. And for example, every time I went to like a grocery store or a little mercado, like a little farmer's market, I really wanted to communicate to people there in Spanish because people there generally don't speak English. And to be honest, I feel kind of weird coming to a country and expecting people in this country to speak English. Because for me, I am the guest here. I'm the one who should be learning this language because I want to participate in this culture. So if you want to imbibe a culture, if you want to drink it in, if you want to become a part of it, you absolutely have to speak the language. I think it's one of the reasons why many people, when they move to a different country, they, for example, don't speak the language of this country for many, many years, and they don't really become a part of this culture. Because again, to truly become a part of a culture, you absolutely have to speak the language that the culture happens to be conducted in. There are so many people, for example, who move to the United States and they never really learn English. And because of that, they miss out on so many American things. But then if you really think about it, you have to make a choice. Sometimes people are too busy, sometimes learning English is not their priority. But at the same time, you always have to ask yourself this question: do you want to become an active member of this culture? And if the answer is yes for you, then you absolutely need this ticket to be able to participate in the culture. And the ticket is the language. Before we move on to the next way learning foreign languages can change your life, I want to tell you a little bit about ELSA, which is kindly sponsoring today's video. I know that a lot of you guys are currently working on your pronunciation in English because pronouncing words in a foreign language correctly is important because we want to avoid miscommunication, right? If you want to improve your English speaking skills, I highly recommend the app ELSA Speak. It is a unique app that pinpoints your mistake in English speaking and pronunciation using cutting-edge artificial intelligence technology. So let me show you guys how I use the app to work on my pronunciation. When I open the app, I usually click on Practice Daily Lessons. And then we begin with the first sound. So let's start training.
My schedule is completely free.
My schedule is completely free. As you can see, the app helps me emphasize the right word because my intonation was not the best when I was reading the sentence. So let's try again. Say schedule shorter and less emphasized. Say completely longer and more emphasized. Say free shorter and less emphasized. My schedule is completely free. Yeah, it's a lot better right now. If you just want to focus on one word at a time, you can click on Improve Pronunciation and then start your first day. So here you will be practicing each word one by one.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay.
Wish.
Okay, let me try to pronounce this word incorrectly. Which. Okay, as you can see, the app picks up on my mistake and says that, you have to change your pronunciation a little bit. So let's try again. Wish. Perfect! If you want to learn new vocabulary, you can go to Study by Topic and choose, let's say, relationships. And click on the first one, online dating. And then click on Start.
Familiar.
Familiar.
Surprise.
So as you can see here, we have some words that are connected to this topic of online dating and relationships. Surprise. And as you can see, every topic has multiple lessons. For example, online dating, we have 12 lessons here, so you can really practice all of this new vocabulary. So if you want to download the Elsa Speak app completely for free and get 7 days free of the Pro membership, make sure to scan this QR code or use the link in the description. But if you want to get 85% off of Elsa's lifetime membership or 40% off of Elsa's 1-year membership, you can use this link. And again, all of the links with all the information are going to be in the description under this video. Now let's move on to the second reason why learning languages will change your life for the better. The second way learning foreign languages can change your life for the better is because your brain will be healthier. Yes, it is absolutely legit. For example, if you speak 2 languages, dementia is less likely to set in, and you're also probably a better multitasker. It turns out that bilingualism is extremely healthy. A group of scientists in Canada revealed that bilingual people who are fluent in 2 languages show symptoms of several forms of dementia 5 years later considered with their counterparts who are monolingual. Language learning develops critical thinking skills and improves memory. So this is obviously extremely important for those who take care of their brain health. And I think it's crucial to take care of this important organ. And if one thing that really helps is language learning, then sign me up. I'm ready. Well, I'm already learning like 3 foreign languages, so I think I'm good here. I'm hitting all of my goals. And I think the second thing that is also connected to your brain health is your critical thinking skills and your memory. I can speak here from my experience. I think thanks to language learning, my memory is so good right now. Obviously, my memory is not perfect. I'm not some superhuman. However, right now, I know that my memory is a lot better compared to what my memory was like when I could only speak Russian, my native language. And also my critical thinking skills. I think the reason why my critical thinking skills are a lot better right now is because I know so many different things about different cultures, and I can think critically because I'm not too fast to jump to conclusions, because I know that, for example, in my home country, this is how people usually live, how they react to certain situations. However, maybe in Mexico, people are different. Their culture, their language, the way they live, everything is different. And that's why I can analyze situations better and make better conclusions. And also, bilingual students have better concentration compared to those who can only speak one language. Again, I can attest to this, guys, because I think my concentration right now is a lot better, because when I have to sit down and learn Chinese after I just spent an hour learning Spanish, a lot of concentration and dedication is required to do that. I think right now I can ignore different distractions a lot more actively. And that really helps me when I film YouTube videos, for example. Because language centers in the brain are so flexible, learning a new language develops a new area in your brain and strengthens your ability to focus. Number 3. You will change the way you think. I truly believe that each language is like another personality and have a lot of distinctive ways of expressing your ideas. For example, even when we talk about grammar, different languages have different grammar. When I'm learning Spanish, I have to spend a lot of time on grammar because sometimes grammar is quite complicated. A lot of conjugations, a lot of different weird verbs that I have to memorize. However, when I'm learning Chinese, Chinese, the grammar there is quite simple compared to English or Spanish or even Russian, my native language. So usually because of that, I can relax and I can feel more confident. However, there are other more challenging things about the Chinese language. For example, the pronunciation and also obviously spelling. You have to memorize how to spell all of the characters correctly. So I think that's why a part of language learning is embracing this new personality and not shying away from it. And that's why people who are fluent in a foreign language, they feel a lot more confident, for example, switching between languages, because they know that, okay, here they sometimes make mistakes in this language, but it's fine because this is how they usually speak in this foreign language, and it's fine. They don't feel embarrassed about that. They feel confident because they know that this allows them to communicate their thoughts successfully and again, build meaningful connections and get access to a new culture, because again, a foreign language is like a ticket. When I speak English, for example, I feel very confident and assertive. Nothing can stop me. I know that I can use the language well, and that gives me a lot of confidence. When I speak Spanish, for example, I don't feel that confident because, you know, I'm not that advanced in Spanish yet. However, I feel more fun. You know, I feel like the world is a more exciting place because I just love the way Spanish sounds, and I love all of my Mexican friends. When I speak Chinese, to be honest, I feel very smart because I know that Chinese is a very hard language to learn and it takes a lot of patience, it takes a lot of time. So if I'm able to construct even one sentence successfully in Chinese, I pat myself on the back and I say, good job, Veronica, you did it. And number 4, guys, please don't laugh right now, but it has been proven scientifically that if you learn a foreign language, you become a more attractive person. Yep, you heard me right. There is this language learning app called Babbel, and they conducted this cool survey asking people what they think about other people who are learning foreign languages. And 71% of the participants said that they think those people are extremely attractive. And what makes them extremely attractive? The fact that they're learning foreign languages. And I was like, okay, if I can make myself more attractive by learning foreign languages, yep, I'm definitely gonna do that. But guys, seriously, of course, you should only learn foreign languages if you want to. No peer pressure, you know, don't think about other people. It should only be because you want to, not because someone else is gonna think you're more attractive. Of course, this is not a very healthy mindset. Personally, my interpretation of this study is the following. I think the reason why people think that people who are learning foreign languages are more attractive is because those people can meet a lot of new people and they can kind of bond with them. And also when, for example, I speak English to someone else, for example, to an American, and I tell them, oh yeah, I'm actually from Russia, I can speak English, I'm learning Spanish and Chinese, they usually become very interested in me. They're like, oh my God, how are you learning all those languages? Tell me your story. And this is a very cool kind of connection point. It's this time that really allows me to connect with those people, especially if they themselves are also learning foreign languages, for example, Spanish, and we can even practice Spanish a little bit. And also, you cannot even imagine how happy I feel when here in Mexico City, I go to a park and there is a group of Chinese tourists and they come up to me and say something in Spanish to me. They're like, oh, for example, can you take a picture of us? This is something that happened to me a few months ago. A Chinese guy came up to me, he was holding his phone and he was trying to speak Spanish. He was like, oh, you know, can you take a picture of us? And I responded in Chinese. Guys, he was so surprised. The shock on his face, he was like, what? You can speak Chinese? I'm like, yeah, a little bit, I'm learning. And the whole group of those Chinese tourists, they were so excited. They were so excited to speak to a foreigner in Chinese in Mexico City. And finally, I want to mention accents a little bit because guys, if I'm being completely honest, most people find accents attractive. They think that if a person has an accent in a foreign language, that makes them stand out. That makes them unique and more interesting. So if you you worry too much about your accent, if you feel ashamed, please don't. Because for example, I know that I still have an accent when I speak English, and it's totally okay. I don't worry about that because I know that it makes me more interesting and more unique. But of course, you have to remember the difference between accent and pronunciation. Pronunciation is kind of the set way we have to pronounce a certain word. For example, the word English, right? You can't say English, for example. That is wrong pronunciation. And that's why I highly recommend you go and check out the Elsa Speak app. Again, all the links to download the app are going to be in the description. So I think it's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching it. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in my next video.